problems facing humanity, like the climate catastrophe, like economic crisis, like the precarious job market, because they just don't, like, you talk all this much about individual responsibility. Most of us are never going to be able to afford to have all of these assets to have responsibility over. So what is your advice beyond banal comments like clean your room?
Well, it's actually rather difficult to answer a question that ends with your comments are banal politely.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan B. Peterson, Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, legend, okay? This guy and his philosophies are so sound and so salient. I myself reference him in content all the time because of just how straightforward and direct and reasonable he presents his arguments without coming across, to those of us who have logic-based brains, without coming across as a complete dick. No matter what Michael Eric Dyson may say, which is one of my favorite moments from him of all time, when he's on screen, when they're at that event, and Michael Dyson just screaming, "You're mean! You're just a mean man!" It's like, dude, the ability to remove emotion and try to look at things from a logical standpoint and perspective is one of the greatest contributions that I believe Dr. Peterson has bestowed upon the internet, right? And in particular, his find the biggest rock bit, it really stuck with me in ways that I am forever appreciative of. He's a good guy. He really is. Regardless, his philosophy is good. I can't sit here and talk about him as a man. I've never met the man, right? But his philosophy and his wanting young men, to take ownership of their lives and their choices and their actions, I gotta say, it's done far more good than the harm his opposition, which is the young lady in this bit, claims. Because when it comes to men and women, as we've discussed on this channel, two completely different things. We have different brains. We process information differently. And I can tell you guys, when a woman doesn't want to know anything, when she doesn't want to believe it, guess what? It ain't gonna be true. No matter how, no matter she can flip it in her head however she needs to, however she must, for it to make logical and because it doesn't need to make logical sense to her. It only has to make emotional sense to her, which is why so many females, like the one who's being a bit of a dick towards Dr. Peterson here in this clip, that's why they have, it's like, I don't get it, I don't understand. Yeah, well, you're missing that sense stake. But let's just watch this man break down what what this young lady brought to his attention.
So, I would consider that more of an opinionated, personal, and political statement than actually a question. So why don't you try reformulating that so that there's an actual question there?
Ooh. Oh man, it's so good. It's delicious.
What is your... So what is your advice to young people when you talk about you need to be individually responsible, but when there are things that are so...
And that's the thing. That is the advice. I was just saying. That is the advice. Yes, you do take care of yourself, be responsible for yourself, and do well, and things will be okay. And that's not a unreasonable stance to have. Like your question is mainly the advice. It's amazing.
Far out of our control, like climate catastrophe, like the precarious job economy, like the economic crisis. What is your answer?
Do you think that you're worse off than your grandparents?
I think there are different challenges.
Do you think you're worse off than your grandparents?
I think that
Jordan, once again, we're not going to cross-examine our questioners.
but you see how sharp he is, right? How quick to the draw he is. One of the reasons that I really enjoy doing this channel and doing videos is that you do have to be a certain level of sharp to make it either comedic or informative or entertaining in one way or the other. And so it's through that I really enjoy a lot. That's why I say this channel, I mean, I don't give a damn about sub counts or anything else like that. It helps keep me sharp in a lot of ways. And so with that being said, let's get over it. Let's get on over here.
I would also like to thank all of you for continuing to support my work. I have far more followers on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter, for that matter, than I did before I became ill. And
now, when it comes to the becoming ill part, it's been a very rough few years for Dr. Peterson. And as you guys just witnessed in the earlier clip, to see that mind really, go through what it's gone through in order to get here, time's always the great equalizer, and it's heartbreaking. It really is. I'm not, once again, I'm making this because of the appreciation that I have for that acuity, for that speed, for that lightning wit and retort from the doctor that's no longer there. And as I will continue to, follow and listen into what he produces now, it's really hard to say that these are the same guys.
My book has sold very well in multiple languages, and that's really amazing and remarkable. And I hope that what I produce in the future that people will find it of equal or greater utility. That's an ambitious hope, given how much attention what I've produced before has garnered, but it still seems an appropriate goal for my upcoming activities.
It's rough. It's real rough. And once again, just for context.
So try answering the question about collective responsibility on climate change, for example. Pick one part of that, because the argument, I think, is that individual responsibility does not change the climate, does not fix the problem that needs global collective responsibility. So I think that's the core of the question. Do you have a theory about that?
Well, fundamentally, I'm a psychologist, and my experience has been that people can do a tremendous amount of good for themselves and for the people who are immediately around them by looking to their own inadequacies and their own flaws and the things that they're not doing in their lives and starting to build themselves up as more powerful individuals. And if they're capable of doing that, and then they're capable of expanding their career. And if they're capable of expanding their career and their competence, then they're capable of taking their place in the community as effective leaders. And then they're capable of making wise decisions instead of unwise decisions when it comes to making collective political decisions. I'm not suggesting in the least, and have never suggested, that there's no domain for social action. I'm suggesting that people who don't have their own houses in order should be very careful before they go about reorganizing the world.
Yeah, it's the difference is so night and day. Like he's just laying it on out. Like, look, man, you gotta handle yourself first, because how could you handle, world domination if your own, how could you handle a presidency if your kid is like, like if your kid's had a few issues and is funneled money towards you? I mean, if we're looking for modern day parallels. But either ways, guys, once again, golly, all due respect to Dr. Peterson, because I do appreciate the boulder, the finding the biggest boulder, man. November 3rd, come Tuesday, that boulder that I started pushing, I mean, it moves a centimeter, and that's amazing to me. And I do, owe the man that, that battery to an extent. But with that being said, that this guy and hold on, this guy, they're not the same guy. They aren't. So, with that being said, we're gonna bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you like to toss it a like, dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice. You want to get videos like this every single day? Share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and Bitchute and like are the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Bang the bell for notifications. Get something from Teespring. Also visit me over on Patreon and speak. Let me know what do you guys think in the comments. Here's the thing. I'm no man's acolyte. I'm no man's fan. I don't believe in fandoms or being fanatical over anybody else. But when I do admire your work, then by proxy, I admire you. And to see that, that sharpness dulled even a little bit, man. That samurai blade of his mind, to see it dulled even a little bit, just it breaks my heart, and it scares the shit out of me, because I consider myself sharp, at least, and it's on its way. It comes for us all. It does. The comment that's attached to this video is somebody sitting there talking about gatekeeping, like ideological gatekeeping. Guys, I don't give a shit about anybody's ideology. If what you have to say is on point and relevant, then damn it, go with it. And that's exactly how you could describe every word that comes out, that or at least came out of Dr. Jordan B. Peterson's mouth. But you may disagree. I have absolutely no doubt there's quite a few who will. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And until the next one.